Hello there guys! Yesterday I uploaded a video talking about making a shed load of money, and that idea came from Daniel. Now when Daniel left the comment, he wasn't originally talking about making money, although that is one of the ways he uses that exploit. But what he was talking about is using the same idea to duplicate cars. Now you can duplicate any car in the game doing this, but there is a little bit of a caveat to that. If you're trying to duplicate the Crown Victoria by selling it from your GameX account to your Kadumi account, you're going to have to do it about 100 fucking times because someone will snipe it. Every sodding time, someone will snipe it, right? I spent all day yesterday trying to move my Crown Vic from my GameX to my Kadumi account, and every single time someone got there before me, right? I must have done it probably about 60 times. So there are now 60 duplications of my Crown Vic, and I still haven't managed to get it across to my other account. It was driving me crazy, I'm telling you. And each time I did that, I was making this video, but I didn't want to do the video having failed, so now I'm going to do it with a normal car that's not going to get sniped. But when I was doing it with that, well, I was instantly in the auction house searching for a car, and I saw it once. And I immediately did the buy now thing, and it said, sorry, auction failed, someone else has already sniped your car, so fuck off. So yes, as you can imagine, I was quite angry. But I can't believe how many times I did it. So there must be a lot of Crown Victorias knocking about in the Forza world now, because I've duplicated mine a shitload of times. So this time, let's duplicate something not quite so exclusive. Let's have a look. I'm going to duplicate, should I duplicate a Beetle? Or a camper van. I'm going to do a camper van. Right, I've got two of these Forza Edition campers already. So I'll duplicate one of these. What'll happen then is my other account will buy it, and I'll come back here and I'll still have two of these. But I know that's not very exciting. Normally you'd only do this to duplicate something awesome, like the Crown Vic, for instance. That'd be a good choice. The way that Daniel was using this that I think was really clever is he paid for the pre-order game and his mates didn't. They probably just got it on the Game Pass for free. But what good old Daniel did to his skinflint friends that couldn't fork out any money is he very generously duplicated his pre-order cars that were nice and exclusive for his mates. So his friends got those cars duplicated from Daniel without having to pay for the pre-order, which I thought was pretty good. So if there's a rare or an exclusive car, then do this with it. But I mean, I'm going to do this on one console by jumping around between my two different accounts. But obviously, if you're doing a rare car, there's no way you're going to get into the auction house fast enough to do that. But if you've got a friend and you can synchronize this and get them to search for the car the moment you list it, if you're really, really lucky and really fast, then maybe you can duplicate an awesome car. But I failed on the Crown Vic over and over and over again. But fortunately, I've still got it, so I kept duplicating it. So I'm going to do one of these. This is a post-Mandela effect Volkswagen with a ridiculous Volkswagen badge with a little gap between the V and the W, which to me is outrageous. I mean, who would have ever designed that? Anyway, let's sell one. Right, so let's put one of these on auction. As you saw, I had two. So when I put this on auction and buy it with my other account, I should have one, but I won't. I'll still have two, thanks to the magic of time travel. So that's how we're going to do this. And that was Daniel's secret. You travel back in time. So now it's on auction. Press your Xbox button, go down to your game, press start, go to manage game and add-ons, click on the button, and then go over to your save data and delete I was in my Kadumi account, wasn't I? I really don't know. I think I am. Yes, I am. Right, so delete the save from the account that's just sold the car. So you sell the car and you delete your own save. Well, why do we have to do this twice? Right, now that's done, I'm going to change my profile over to my my GameHacks one. So here we go. and I'm going to load up Forza. Now, you wouldn't do this bit because unless you really, really want to get a car from one account on your console to another, but if it's not a rare car, just buy it again from the auction house. I mean, you are going to have to buy it and you are going to lose your money. But if you can buy it from the auction house or the showroom, there's no point in doing this. But if it is a very rare car, you're not going to be able to change it between two accounts on your console because someone else will steal it. So PC people, let me ask you a question. Do you have some kind of program that us Xbox folk don't know about that snipes auctions? Or is there just people sitting there every second of every day searching for the Crown Vic? Because I tell you, I mean, I'd got both consoles in one TV and I'd changed the television over to the buying account. And on the selling account, I then clicked the Xbox button without being able to see what I was doing, but I knew that as soon as I clicked A, it would list the auction. And I then clicked the button on my other account immediately looking for that car, and I just never managed to get it. And as I say, I only saw it once. So anyway, I did mention that this was a post-Mandela effect Volkswagen because the VW badge is wrong. Now, for those people who have no idea what I'm talking about, the Mandela effect is a fuck-up in our timelines where things change. Quite a few people are going to comment on this video saying, I'm an idiot, no it isn't, you're just remembering things wrong, this is a psychological phenomena. No, it's not, right? I studied psychology, I'm a hypnotist, I understand how false memory syndrome works. I also understand that when I watched Moonraker, Dolly had a brace, and when she smiled at Jaws, who has metal teeth, smiled back, and there was a beautiful romance because they had this thing in common. They both had metal teeth. She no longer has a brace on any version of that film. Now, some people have asked the actress, and the actress even says she didn't have a brace, so she's post-Mandela effect too. So she's from that timeline. But in my timeline, she had a brace. In my timeline, in The Wizard of Oz, the Scarecrow doesn't have a gun. And also, when the witch lets the monkeys out the window, she goes, "Fly, my pretties, fly!" She doesn't say, "Fly, fly, fly," like she does now. Another one that's really interesting is South America used to be underneath North America. Now, I live in South America, but I never used to. I used to live in England, so I fly from England to South America very often. Years ago, when I first ever did this, the flight took me 11 and a half hours. It doesn't anymore. It takes about 10 hours now. That's because South America has moved. It's just insane. It's moving closer to Africa. And some people say, no, some maps are different. It's to do with the Earth being a globe and paper being flat. That's not what I'm talking about at all. Right, the Mandela effect is definitely a thing. When there are a huge amount of people that all... What am I supposed to do in here? I've completely forgotten. I'm buying a car. Right. When there are a huge amount of people that very specifically remember something a certain way, like saying "fly my pretties fly," and then we have evidence in the world that supports their memory. We have maps that show South America where I remember it to be. There's quite a few of them. We have The Simpsons saying "fly my pretties fly." There's loads of things like that. There are so many examples of this, it is crazy. Go in search cars. Right, I am going to search for my game attack, because that's going to be a nice easy way of finding that car. I'll tell you, this particular one, the Volkswagen badge, this was a big one for me. Because when I was a kid, I was a big fan of the Beastie Boys. So I stole quite a few of those badges off the front of cars. But don't tell anybody, right? With a screwdriver. Here it is. The gap is still there. We haven't changed to a different timeline. So I used to wear those as a Beastie Boys fan, and they had no gap between them. Later in life, I owned a Volkswagen Jetta, and I can very clearly remember polishing the badge, and there was no gap. Later in life, whilst I was a graphic designer, I can remember looking at the logo and being in awe of how aesthetically pleasing the V and the W are. They merged together. I was impressed by that. I can remember really clearly. And also, and this one's really weird, I can remember watching TV, and you know when the last advert comes on before the film comes back? And you know in the days when you used to watch a film and then the adverts come on and someone went to the toilet because they didn't want to make tea, someone did make tea because they didn't want to sit in the room and have an awkward conversation with their family, and you sat there and watched telly because you were lazy, and then the film come back on and you'd be going, "It's on! It's on!" upstairs. Well, I remember watching a film, and the last advert before the film comes back on, it always stays on the advert for a bit longer, doesn't it? And I can remember watching a Volkswagen advert, and it come to the end of the advert, and there was just the logo on the screen and some copy line. I can't remember the copy line. But I was sat there looking at the logo, and I was just admiring the logo, and I was really paying it too much attention. And now in hindsight, since the Mandela effect has happened and that logo has changed, it seems like at the time, some higher force was saying to me, "Oi, pay attention to this. Make sure you pay a lot of attention to this, because this is going to change. And when it does, I want you to be sure that you know it was different." So it has changed. Now, my wife's sister and her husband, not me, not my wife's husband, my wife's sister's husband, both of those people have Volkswagens. And when they come to visit us, their Volkswagen badge has a gap between the V and the W. And to me, it just looks really fucking wrong. It's like, it feels like if I touched it, I would break reality. It's so weird. So now I've bought a Volkswagen camper van, the Forza Edition one. So now in my garage, I've got that. And I've probably got quite a few others of them as well, because they're quite popular cars. Oh, they're all new. I was hoping one would say new, but I've just bought one. I've got an extra one. You know how the auction works. I've bought a car. So now if I quit out of the game and go back into my other account, the only reason I'm quitting is because when you change your profile, it has a little bit of a flap if you don't come out the game. This way just seems to be a bit quicker. So now I'll go back in here and we'll see that I've still got that car, because it's going to load my save from Xbox Live, which is my character going back in time just a little bit to before I place that auction. So unfortunately, Katumi74 doesn't get any extra money. They don't get any extra cars. They just stay exactly the same. They just did something and then went back in time before they did that thing, and now that thing hasn't happened. Whereas the other account, my Game Hacks account, that now has an extra Volkswagen camper Forza Edition car. But they did lose a little bit of money buying it, and that money is nowhere. Now, Daniel did say that it is possible to get the money and the car, and a few other people also commented saying that that's possible as well. So I tried to do that with the Auto Union yesterday, over and over again, but I couldn't. I was trying every different sequence of reloading my save, buying the car, and all that kind of stuff, but it just didn't work. But what we've discovered is that that works on some cars, but it doesn't work on others. Isn't that interesting? I thought it'd be about timing, but it was nothing to do with timing. It's just on a particular cars you get the car and the money, and others you don't. But I did think that was really strange. So while this is loading, let's talk about Rodin's Thinker. Right? Ages ago, I wrote a book and I used a picture of the Thinker for the front cover. And when I was looking for the picture of the Thinker on Google, I mean, I did art at university. I know that statue. I did a Google image search for it, and all of the images that come up with this dude with his hand open underneath his chin. I was like, what the fuck's this? It looks like the Thinker, but that's not the Thinker. I was looking for the dude thinking, with his fists clenched against his forehead, but I couldn't find it. So I used the other statue for the book, and I didn't think any more of it. And then a bit later, when I discovered the Mandela effect and people started talking about this statue, I was like, yeah, it was different. Then I found a website selling replicas of the statue. And the picture on the website was the same dude with his hand open under his chin. That's not Rodin's Thinker. And then the description of the statue said Rodin's Thinker statue in the classic thinking pose with his fist clenched against his forehead. It's like the description was describing the item with his fist clenched against his forehead, but the picture of the item had changed. So when the Mandela effect fucked up the statue, I don't like this. It doesn't look like he's thinking. It's just like he's just going, It's like before it looked like he really had something on his mind, but now it's just terrible. So that was a big one for me. The big ones for me are the Moonraker, Dolly's Brace. That's a big one. The Thinker statue is a big one. South America, obviously, but I do like that now it takes me less time to fly to England. That's pretty fucking awesome. The other big one for me, let me think. The two in The Wizard of Oz, because, I mean, The Wizard of Oz, as a child, The Wizard of Oz meant it's Christmas time. I've watched that film so many times you won't believe. And also, it was my sister's favourite film. I used to watch it at least once a year, but she used to watch it over and over and over again. She had a poster of it in her bedroom, and we used to buy her Wizard of Oz themed things for her birthday and Christmas because that's what she was into. So, I mean, I have watched that film probably at least 30 or 40 times. I know it inside out. Definitely said, fly my pretties fly. The other one is the Mirror Mirror on the Wall. It's not that anymore, it's Magic Mirror on the Wall now in the original film. Yet for me it was always Mirror Mirror. Now, so many people remember it as Mirror Mirror, and a film was made called Mirror Mirror based on that quote. But now it was never Mirror Mirror, it was always Magic Mirror. So there we go. Quite a few logos have changed. The Ford logo definitely is different for me now. It looks ridiculous. For me, most of the new things look a bit stupid compared to what they were originally. The brace on Dolly in Moonraker makes no fucking sense now. The scene just doesn't work, whereas previously the scene worked really well. Fly My Pretties Fly is so much better than Fly, Fly, Fly. It's terrible. For those people that don't know what I'm talking about and think I'm completely nuts, just do a search on YouTube for the Mandela effect. The idea comes from Nelson Mandela because a load of people remember him dying in prison, and then all of a sudden he was alive and he died not in prison, and he became president of South Africa and all that kind of stuff. And people were like, what the fuck's going on? You can actually find footage of his funeral from the 80s. That's available. The other big one for me was the Kennedy assassination. There used to be 4 people in the car, now there's 6. I watched it over and over again because it was a big conspiracy and it was interesting. He was trying to work out who did it. Now it's completely changed. So a lot of people are going to say it's false memory syndrome. Right? It just really isn't. It's like, I have lived in a house that had a lot of ghosts. I have had an experience with aliens. I've had an experience with Men in Black. I've seen a UFO. I have remote viewed. I've done astral projection. I'm very interested in all this kind of stuff that a lot of people think is a bit weird and out there and paranormal. The majority of people think is utter nonsense. I am aware these things happen. I've actually been in one place whilst I thought of being in another place, and people saw me in that other place. And then when I met them later, they went, hey, we saw you. And I was like, what? And they told me where they'd seen me, and I was like, I wasn't there. It's like, you was? And I says, well, I was thinking of being there, but I wasn't. And I've had a lot of things like that happen to me. When I was young, my dad teleported in order to save my sister's life. And when I told my friend Owen about this, he went white. And I was like, what's going on? He teleported to save his dad's life. So I made a video about this on YouTube on my other channel. And so many people replied to that video saying, I've done that too. So things do happen that are outside of the Newtonian physics that we learn at school, which is utter nonsense. And I lecture on the law of attraction, and the law of attraction just breaks all those rules anyway. The Mandela effect exists. It's not false memory syndrome. And when you get false memory syndrome, it's just one person. It's not millions of people remembering exactly the same false memory and then being able to find loads of evidence that supports your false memory. And Curious George definitely had a fucking tail. So anyway, if this is all new to you and you think I'm completely nuts, just go and check it out. It will blow your mind. And if you think that this is false memory, you need to open your eyes and wake up, because there is some stuff going on that what we learn in school cannot explain. But that don't mean it's not going on. It is going on. So just wake up, smell the bacon, have a cup of coffee, and then just allow yourself to open your mind to the possibilities of things that you can't yet explain. But in the future, we'll explain them. When CERN stops fucking around trying to find the Higgs boson, smashing particles together to make black holes, this will probably stop happening, because if you read their website, the stuff that they say on there is pretty much admitting that they are behind the Mandela effect. They know that when they smash these things together, they are causing timelines to collapse on one another. They're causing dimensional portals to open. And that's the kind of shit that's messing with our timeline. So there we are. The game's reloaded. I thought I'd go on a little rant. Daz72, this is for you, right? You left a comment. I just read it a little while ago, and I gave you a bit of a thumbs up. You said, what are you doing? You're editing. Stop it. We prefer the stories and the rambling and the away from keyboard. Imagine if my phone rang now. That'd be perfect timing. Rather than all this editing shit. And then someone commented saying, no, we bloody don't. We don't like watching 30-minute videos. Well, you can fuck off and go to someone else's channel, because that ain't what I'm about. So in the spirit of my channel, I thought I'd have a little bit of a ramble. I didn't plan it. It's just I saw the Volkswagen and I saw the badge and I thought, oh, it's a post-Mandela one. I hate you. So actually, that's one of the first things I checked when I got this game. I went straight into the cars and I looked at the car to see whether or not the badge was the proper one or the stupid one that they never would have created that now exists in our reality that's a bit fucked up, where Dolly doesn't even have a brace, and Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader don't have that conversation. You know what I'm talking about. The actors themselves quote it as, Luke, I am your father. They even quote it like that themselves, and it was those people that said it in the line. What am I on here for? Auction? No. Car? Garage? Right, I just duplicated a car. I've come back into here to show you that I now still have 2 of those vans. So let's have a look. Do I have 2 post-Mandela effect vans? Yes, I do. So I sold one of these. My other account bought it, so they've now got one of these on top of the 2 or whatever they already had, and now I have a couple as well. So obviously you don't want to duplicate something that you've already got loads of and you're never going to drive. That's just idiotic. But when you do that, people don't snipe it off you on the auction. But what you do want to duplicate is something sexy, like the Crown Victoria or some pre-order cars or whatever else. So this video comes to you. Thank you to Daniel, who suggested this in one of the comments. This was actually what he was talking about, but then he said a little bit later, you can also do it for the money. And when I started reading the comment, I was already thinking, hang on a minute, if you do this the other way round, you can make money. But he'd already figured that out himself. So I did it to make money first. I thought that video would be a lot more popular and a lot more useful, but you can also do it to dupe cars. So if you're trying to dupe an exclusive car, I wish you all the luck in the world. I recommend that you do it when most people are in bed. And because the earth is round and not flat, that's going to be a problem. So good luck. So I was trying to do it all through the day, and I was thinking all those cunts in England. And England was about the evening, so you guys were probably buying it. America and South America, where I am, that was like in the afternoon, early afternoon or something like that. So all those people were obviously awake and playing games, so they were probably the snipers. And I was thinking, I'll do this at night. And then I was thinking, sod in Australia. I can't do it at night either. So I've got to try, I've got to win the car again, or try and get it over to my account when, I don't know, the Pacific Ocean is awake and everyone else is asleep. So if you live on Easter Island, don't buy my Crown Vic. All I'm trying to do is move it from one account to another. Just leave it be. Anyway, guys, that's enough from me. I am going away over the weekend. I'm not sure whether I'm going to come back on Sunday or Monday or whatever. It just depends whether we're having fun or not. We might stay there longer, we might not. So I'll probably not make any... What time is it? It's 1919. Oh my goodness. Kasia, if you're watching this video, hello. And that will only make sense to you, nobody else. Whoa, it's made me shiver. Right, I'll see you soon, guys. You take care. Probably Monday, maybe Tuesday. Who knows? Might even squeeze one in on Sunday. Check out Daniel's channel on YouTube. Give him a subscribe if you haven't already. It's not going to hurt you to subscribe to his channel, even if you never watch his videos, but it's going to help him a lot. So please just click that button. One click is all it takes, and he showed you how to duplicate cars and make money, and that's pretty useful. If you watch a few of his videos as well to get some of his viewing hours up, that would be cool. And let's try and help him out. Let's try and boost his YouTube channel, because he's only just started. But if he can get up on get to 1,000 subs, that would be pretty fucking awesome for him. And I know, because I've been there, I know how difficult it is to do that at the beginning. It really is difficult. So let's try and help him out a little bit. Take care, guys. See you all soon. And I hope you enjoyed the ramblings. And if you did, then say thank you to Das72. I inspired. Right, on the loading times, I had intended to speed them up like I did on the video earlier. And but nah, fuck that. See you all soon, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.